All right. Yeah, get my heaters on. Get some fresh air get in here. Better get my plants out before my client gets here. Hopefully, freaking Marvin doesn't try to plant more acorn nuts in my plants. Little buggerhead. Between Chippy there, little chipmunk under my. He lives under the porch now, the veranda. Yeah, he's been attacking my planters, thinking he can put stuff in there. And then what happens is Marvin the squirrel goes and plants an acorn nut in there, and freaking little Chippy comes out, and then he goes steals and eats it on him. He stuffs it in his little fat face there. I watched them do that the other day. I was yelling at both of them, "Get out of my planters, you little buggers!" They didn't even listen to me. They're like belligerents of like chipmunk belligerents and squirrel belligerents. You can't trust chipmunks and squirrels. They're belligerent. Put this out. It's kind of heavy. All right. So I got. I don't know if it's going to allow me to, but some painting to do today. I've got. See my breath out here. Yeah, so I don't want to let all the heat out of the house. I'll just go like that. So just enough so I can hear my client coming. She's gonna find it different when she drives into the driveway. She's like, "Holy geez, you cut down a lot." Like all that stuff, like I still got to rake all that, eh? So, yeah. But as I was talking about in my last video, the creativity level of in here is going to go up significantly in the next week or two. But I got a lot of stuff to get done. Like, got to get the windows done. Just got to dig up my staple gun. I got to find it. It's up in my toolboxes somewhere there. It's like, okay, I know it's up there. Could be in one of my bags too. I'll have to just do just an all out search for it. Get that done this weekend. That's my goal. Dig out the back wall a little bit more. I got another recycling bin out, so this Monday coming it'll be another garbage, so that'll be good. The shed's getting cleared out quite a bit, so I'm not gonna take the stuff out of the basement till I got a good spot in there for it. Just because I don't want to get damaged, because it's good piping that could still be used. I could store some in the barns, but I'm gonna be cleaning out the barns too, and there's other people's stuff in there, like some of my aunts and uncles have wood stored in there and other things. But anything that's like really junky, I gotta clean it out. Like it's just you know, I'm just hoping that when I do all that work, that oh look, I got all the space now, I can throw all my junk here. It's like no, that's not the goal. The goal is to get it cleaned up. I've cleaned up my buddy and I. We've done a scrap metal, and I told him there's probably going to be about a ton here. Maybe not quite. Maybe about 3/4 of a ton. By the time you add everything up, I'm gonna have to sort my bins. I still got to do a metal run up there from my dad's. I'd really like to get that done before the winter. I'll have to might have to sweet talk my dad and say, hey, can I just use your truck for a couple hours, and I'll get all that stuff before the snow flies. He goes up moose hunting this weekend coming, so that should be fun. That should be fun. So what I got to do is start getting the rest of the wood thrown in up there. So I got to do that. I got to get the two chimneys done before the snow flies. So maybe this weekend I'm going to do work down here for sure. But like, I'm at that point where it's like there's, like it's just kind of like hurry up and wait. Okay, fill the bin, put it out to the road, wait till it's empty. Next week fill the other bin. Like there's not going to be that much more recycling stuff, I don't think. But it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Until you got I can lift up a piece of debris, and then holy crap, there's all that under there, right? But but it's coming along. So in here, there's not much to do. I just got to get to the spick and spanning part. But that's okay. Like when there's snow on the ground, like I'll be spick and spanning in here, and then just spending my days in here recording. Um, I'll do as much chainsawing as I can until that time. I'll do as much brush cutting as I can till that time. Yesterday, was it? Yeah, hopefully that wasn't my chainsaw videos that I think I was sharpening some chainsaw videos. Like, there was some good video content there for you guys. But anyway, I got my chainsaws sharpened for Friday anyway. Ready to go. The brush cutter, I sharpened the blade for the first time. I didn't do any bending on it because I don't think it needs it yet. I didn't like I've used it, but I haven't used it enough to really worry about it yet. So I'm going to probably use the round one this weekend a little bit more for the brush, for the saplings, I guess, the wood cut. It's called the wood cut blade. But the other one's like the brush cut blade. Anyway, it's all brush cutter to me. So, but what I'm hoping is that I end up getting most of that down before the snow. Kind of cool. My window's just, the seats either just not high enough or the window's just not low enough to see if there's somebody coming. I wish it was just a little bit lower but the grind would be in the way anyway. Yeah, so once I get that out, then I can focus in here. Like the windows are going to be closed a lot more now going forward just because of I think we're at the last kind of warm spell of the year, and then it's just going to start getting cold from here. Although it was like 27, almost 30 degrees the other day, but it was nice in here because of the airflow, the way I got the air flowing there. I think next year this place is really going to air out really fine. Even my nephew noticed that the walls were just warped because the humidity's kind of going away a bit. So they still got like bubbles and warp. He goes, did you push that in? I said no. He goes, because it was so saturated in here, right? And that was just because everything was being held in. You know what I mean? Now that's not the case. Like I was telling my dad, I said, well, what I do is I open up the basement window to get the air in there, and then with the fan in the stairwell and the door open, it brings it all up here, and then it gets sucked out the roof, right? Because it goes up the hatch, right? Heat rises, and whatever's with it goes out there with it. And he goes, yeah, but then you're bringing all that smell and stuff up here. I said, yeah, but that's the only way to air it out too, right? So, in the wintertime, it'll be dehumidifier and fans. But I haven't really had to run that dehumidifier that much. Like it's like the humidity is high because of the time of year. It was like 70 this morning, and I know over 60 is where you start getting problems if you don't have any flow, right? But I got airflow, so 60 is fine as long as your airflow, But I'd like to get it into like the mid 50s or whatever, just to dry the place out a little bit more. So maybe I have to run the dehumidifier once, twice a week through the winter just to stay on top of it. If I notice like real extreme smells, then okay, yeah, I'll any day I can crack a window, I'll crack a window. You know what I mean? Next to that, yeah, it's just the recording process has started. It's just going to be song after song after song, and see what I could do with videos. Plus, going into the winter, the videos are going to have to be more. It's like how do you do things with a zero budget, right? Like, it's like, okay, how do I make this interesting for you guys with zero budget? The AI is, I think, it's just it's. I don't know about you guys. Like, as cool as the AI stuff is, I still rather see human beings in the video. Like, okay, if there's AI around it, like they're on a pirate ship or something like that. Okay, yeah, I get that. But or there's a dragon or whatever. Okay, fine, but I still want to see the people in the video. You know what I mean? Like there's all this AI music coming out and stuff like that, and it's like it's good. Well, it's perfect. Like it's not good. It's perfect because it's it's completely to what makes it modeled after the most popular songs, right? So of course it's going to sound good, but it sounds kind of sterile too because it's so perfect. It's actually you know it's whatever. Um, and like you watch the stuff, but they're making it so realistic. That's the part that's scary is how realistic it is, and it's getting better, right? So like 10 years from now, like you won't be able to tell a real person from an AI. Like you almost already can't now. You know what I mean? It's that good. Um, So the thing is that it's still not going to knock like the music executives. Yeah, they're going to go the AI route. Yeah, we're going to come up with our character, and people are going to love the character. But you're never going to see that character live. They're always going to be on a screen, right, or a hologram or something like that. They're never going to be. It's never going to be you're never going to be able to get the signed autograph from them, right? Although there'll be like autographs, AI autographs or something like that. Who knows what they're going to do, right? Anything but pay people, right? That's yeah, it's the corporate way. Anything but pay people. Um, greedy buggers. They're more greedy than my squirrels. Uh, but no, everybody's like people are still gonna want to see their the real humans making real music and stuff like that in videos. But you have to make videos. That's the thing. Like if you're on YouTube, like audio tracks are fine, but most people, unless it's a band they know, they don't search out audio tracks, right? They'll skip the audio track. I do it all the time. I could be skipping out the best songs ever. But usually the way it is that the band says, okay, these are probably going to be our best songs. These are the ones we're going to do the videos for. There's very few bands that do a video for every song they play, right? Because the budgets, right? I mean, it costs them 100 grand to do a video, and you'd be surprised how little 100 grand on a professional video will cost. Like how little you get, right? So the guy at home, maybe he makes a video for like 300 or 1,200 bucks, because like you got to pay for everything. You know what I mean? Like you got to pay for the AI and stuff like that. And, you don't really save that way. But if you got your own camera and you got a few creative ideas, which I have some ideas, like the idea of keeping things simple enough to, make videos that just as visualizers. The visualizers are not that great, but they're better than nothing. It's better than just here's some lyrics. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like I'm trying to come up with a way to do that. And again, you have to understand my whole editing thing is an outdated version of um, Windows Movie Maker, right? So like that's what I got to work with. So yeah, I'm pretty low on the run. But when the production comes up for stuff, like I think there's a lot of filming I can do to make a lot of videos interesting. Once I get my drop screens, the thing about that is at least for winter time I can film indoors, with the drop screens, so that can help. The other thing is the just kind of like the idea of like that you get to see like a story. You know what I mean? And like I'd like to get costumes and stuff like that, and obviously actors would be, and I'm not talking like big name actors. I'm talking like, hey, somebody I know locally. Hey, you want to be, this character or this character or this character? Like pick one and like I'll give you $20, like that kind of stuff. That's the kind of video quality you're gonna get, right? But it can be fun. You make it fun. You make it as fun as possible. Not every song is going to be a fun song. Some of the songs are going to be more serious, whatever. But there's a lot of cool things that I want to do too. So we'll see what inspires. But I'm going to redo the 8 string guitar probably tomorrow if I'm off, and then the drums, then the bass, then it's mix it down, then I'll have version one of the song done. Song's gonna be probably about 4 to 6 minutes long. I mean, I like the concept of writing epic songs, but they have to flow there naturally to get songs that long, or else it sounds a little bit forced and like you're making a long song for the sake of making a long song. So I don't want to do that either. I don't go by any of the like you can research. Okay, what's the formula for a hit song, and you can get all these great ideas, but stuff like that. They'll tell you, okay, the intro has to be this long. Studies show this, and that. I wouldn't really do that. Like unless you really want to just you don't care about the music and you just want commercial viability. Uh, you know, One thing about metal is it's not really designed for the masses, so to speak. Like, yeah, you want people to hear it, but it's more about the creative expression. And, if you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. And I think that's the better way to go because then you don't just try to do the cookie cutter thing. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with that. I mean, like your pop stars, that's why they're where they're at, is because they've done the cookie cutter thing. And there's a merit to that because it appeals to the masses. But songs that typically appeal to the masses don't tend to last that long. Like, you guys remember LMFAO, that band? Yeah, where are they now? You know what I mean? They had like 2 good hits, and if you like that kind of music, they had 2 good hits, and then it's just like, okay, once people got bored of it, they don't go back and listen to it. Where there's still people listening to the first Iron Maiden album because it's awesome, right? You know what I mean? Where back then it did make the radio, like so. It seems like if it's not radio worthy, it seems like it doesn't mean it's good or bad, but it seems like it tends to get the more hardcore fans, where people listen, and also people don't consume music the same way they used to, right? Like a lot of people have TikTok brains, so it's like they don't they don't um, like listen to whole songs. They listen to a snippet of a song and they mimic it in a TikTok video, right? So or they listen to it as background music. So something like just really catchy and overly generic in the background is kind of what they're after. They're not after like deep content lyrics and stuff like that. They're not after the storytelling or whatever. That's fine. There's like that I'm not bashing it. I'm just saying that's kind of where it is. Whereas you've got like other people that like they just want to sit down and listen to a whole album, you know. But even at that, that's kind of like my generation and older that do that. The younger generation, maybe the millennials do it quite a bit, but typically people don't listen to whole albums; they just listen to the songs. So the album itself is no longer the thing where it's like, okay, well, you got to have, like it's not 1982 anymore. So now it's like you put out a song digitally, see if the song hits, and if it does, great. And if it doesn't, well, you write another song and see if it hits. So maybe your whole career is based on 2 songs. You know what I mean? So it's more because like most bands you see online they've never played live. The live show I don't think is going to go anywhere. I know they might not be as popular as what people complain. Oh, the bars don't pay anymore. Well, they never paid well to begin with. Like there's never, oh, the bars used to pay. Yeah, you got a couple of gigs that paid well. That happened to me too. And then, but you play enough bars, you'll find that 90% of them don't want to pay you a cent. You know what I mean? Anything but pay people, right? Um, And then they come out, oh, it's not like it used to be. Yes, it is. It's exactly like it used to be. It's never changed. I don't. I hear musicians say that all the time. It's kind of like the same type of musician, same type of people that, oh, like the only good music was when I was a teenager and 20 years old or something like that. Everything after that is like boring and dull no, it's not. Look, as a guy that's 52 years old, I got to tell you, man, music. People have been saying that since I was a kid in the 1970s. Oh, the music today, oh, it sucks. The music from way back when I was in my 20s was so much better. The guys, older or whatever, because people tend to listen to what they listen to in their youth, and they just stay stuck there. But I'll be honest with you, as a guy that looks for new music all the time, music is better now. Yes, it's better. It's just there's so much of it that there's a lot of stuff out there too. But it's always been that way. Like that's not new. That will never change. That'll always be a thing. Like the AI stuff is going to be generic and it's going to be good and whatever, but it's going to be like really generic and boring for most people because it's like, oh yeah, it's just a wash, rinse, repeat, right? And then once in a while, something really unique is going to come along. It's like, wow, those are really good. Um, like good songs, the cream rises to the top. They could push, and you see it all the time. And, I've already used an example, but like you see it all the time where they get this pop star comes out of nowhere, they make them the biggest. Oh, this guy's so big and he's huge and whatever, and they push it, and everybody loves the song while it's being pushed. But the second the music industry says, okay, well, we got the new flavor now. This is the best guy ever, and whatever girl ever, and she's like number one on top for a little bit. Very few of them can stay there. Like your Katy Perry's and Taylor Swift types, like they stayed there, and like people are like, I don't listen to Taylor Swift really, but people saying, oh, the new album's kind of like what she did, it's there for the sake of being there, kind of thing, right? And people are like, yeah, it's kind of, it's like she's not even trying or whatever. But maybe that's it. Maybe that's her run. Maybe it'll take her another 5 years to come up with something good. You know what I mean? That happens too. And like one good song and video. Like what song was I looking at? Had 50 million views on it last night. Let me think about it. I will think about it. Oh yeah, Call of the Mountains from Elvady. Okay. This is a band that hardly anybody's heard of, and it has 50 million views. So just that song, just that video on YouTube, which has been on there now for over 10 years, back when Anna Murphy was in Elvady. Okay, that song has 50 million views on it. Okay, so if they got the ad revenue for if Elvady got the ad revenue from that, they've done well. You know what I mean? Like they won't have made as much as you think, but they probably made a few grand just off the video. Sitting there doing nothing but making money for them every time people watch it, right? Uh, that's pretty hard to knock. You know what I mean? So like I say, one really good video. Like I remember one guy, like songwriter from Hollywood kind of thing, Hollywood, Nashville type of guy. He was saying, he goes like, it used to, like songwriters, like the bands would go out and they'd make money or they wouldn't make money, right? But like the songwriter, like you could make a song at home, take it to the studio, record it in the studio, and if that song went, was a hit, one song, you could retire on one song if you had one hit, but you might produce 1,000 songs to get that one hit. You know what I mean? Now it's harder because, in the sense that it's almost impossible to get signed because you have to do all the heavy lifting before they'll sign you. And by the time they sign you, you're already kind of established, right? They're just extra promotion and taking their cut and whatever, but they get you into bigger venues so you make money off the live, right? That's where most bands make their money is live. That's why they still want to get signed, because you can't get into these big festivals unless you're signed, right? So that's still the caveat. Now, it's easier in the sense that anybody can be a musician nowadays and produce a video. I mean, you got people that are not musicians that will pay to produce their own video. You see like these, Eastern European, Slavic women doing rap videos. I mean, they're completely hilarious, but they're so bad that they actually they get like the one hit wonder kind of thing happening, and it's just like, okay, yeah, she's so horrible, but she paid her own money to do it and just put herself out there like that, and people will like, they just laugh, they watch it laughing at it, but they're still watching it, and she's making money at it. I mean, good for her, you know. So maybe nobody will show up at the live show, but then like corny stuff like that sometimes just tends to take. You know what I mean? It is what it is, right? So like the artist that's working so hard, and then here comes like somebody's like more like a joke, and they make they make millions. But wish them well anyway. So anyway, I gotta get some stuff done before I go, and oh yeah, there we go.